What is up, folks? Welcome back. Let's now that I can see what we're doing here, let's get this fixed. Very cool. Welcome back. Gosh, we haven't even cleaned our desk off from the last joov Go portable red light therapy device. And here we have another joov Go portable red light therapy device with the same issue. The batteries are starting to go bad left and right in these things. Gosh darn, I'm just gonna have to make a whole rip-off website of joov's website and offer dedicated repair services for those things, aren't I? Anyways, we are well behind on 3D printed USB restore adapters, emails, text messages. I don't even take phone calls, and my people still blow my phone up. So we're just gonna do what we can do and what we do best here, and that's fix a couple HomePods. And then for those of you that patiently wait and hang out with us and or genuinely and thoroughly enjoy watching a few HomePod repairs, I will reward you with another joov Go portable red light therapy device repair. It just needs a new battery. It'll be pretty simple and easy, but it's a little different than what we usually get here. At least until recent, it seems like we've been getting a lot more of those, like I said. But anyways, let's get some names up on the screen. Let's see what we got here. We're going to start with a couple of HomePods that have been waiting for maintenance to get done. That's going to be .4013. We'll go ahead and pick on them first. These first two up are going to be nice and easy ones. They came in as bricks. We slapped some 3D printed plastic with some copper attached to it to the bottom of them, and bada bing bada boom, they snapped right to life. We've been letting them test over the past few days to make sure, to the best of our ability and within a reasonable amount of time, that there isn't a hardware issue that caused the software to go awry on these. This one and the one after this, number 3981, are going to be the same story. They are opting for paying us a little extra to crack it open and replace a couple of hardware bits inside that more often go bad, and give them a reason to send them in to us so that they don't have to do it again in the future. So it's a 4013 with some hardware maintenance, and then the same thing with 3981. And then we've got 4018 with no power, 3920 with some bad base of sorts, maybe death farts or DC filters gone bad. And then we've got two from 4042, a local fella. One of them with no power, and the other one, they had some questionable popping. We'll take a listen for ourselves, but they said whether it needs it or not, go ahead and do the preventative hardware maintenance. I don't have a problem with that. There's not much, there's no harm in doing it, since especially we've already got them both here now. It's not like doing the hardware maintenance is going to usually save you any money down the road if it does need hardware repairs. It usually ends up costing the same to fix it when it has a problem versus doing the preventative maintenance to try to prevent things from happening. It's more just a matter of how you want to time it, really. There are exceptions. Some issues cost more to repair, but yeah, everything has exceptions, right? We're missing our other camera. Let's get that up here. Shuffle hands. Stefan, Danny, welcome, folks. Let's get this camera going. Alright, place your bets how long it'll last before I have to reconnect it there. Place your bets, folks. And then one last order of business here before we get started. We just need to message a couple of folks and let them know how to watch their repairs. So we've got 4013. We'll shoot them a quick message. There we go. Let's get the camera. There we go, yeah. We'll tell it to focus on our desk until we zoom in, and that'll kill it. So we got 4013 messaged. Let's find 3981, and then we'll dive into this. And I will stop ignoring the chat in just a moment here. We got 3981 coming up next. Alright. We have messaged enough folks. Nixon! Dan! It's a whole party here. Welcome back. Welcome back, y'all. I need... Ooh, perfect. Where's the logger? We are... Oh, wow. We are quite fresh out at the moment. Let's see. I like to orient this around there so I know how far we've gone, because I don't like cutting my hand open doing this. As I almost cut my hand open. What do you mean check Roblox? Are you guys playing Roblox? Ah, jeez. You hurt yourself, Stefan, again. Let me guess, broken piece of phone screen. You don't play with it, you communicate on that. That makes sense. Unfortunately, with yeah, that makes sense. Okay. You were changing a screen on a phone. Called it. Like asking me what I cut this part of my hand on any given day. Y'all know the answer. You just saw 10 seconds ago. Ooh, that's some dust. Another pod might be coming soon. What do you mean? You buy a new one, a broken one? A potential scam, maybe even? Oh, there goes the side camera. Oh, did I not? I don't even think I ever added the side camera. Here we go. Basically new, but has dead bass. $80. First gen? Second gen? Do you have a spare bass speaker and or amplifier board for potentially what lies inside? Because you never know. Could just be a shorted little capacitor on the amp, and you can buy a replacement one of those anywhere. Or you could be really unlucky and it could have DC filters gone bad that roasted the subwoofer and blew a hole in the main amp chip, forcing you to basically replace the whole amplifier board and the subwoofer in order to make it work again. The better gen. Best gen. Will there be a new HomePod announcement this September? Oh yeah, I think a few other folks have talked about it too. Some kind of HomePad device. Basically a lower tier big HomePod, but better than a mini, with an iPad glued to the top of it. You want me to stream the event? I'm more than happy to if I'm not at work. They tend to do those events while I'm working. Apple TV rumors, I haven't heard of any of those yet. Now it hello? Stream from work. We could do like Discord or something maybe. If I'm working. Hello to Brazil. What is up, JP? You don't want a camera. You think they're gonna put a camera on the Apple TV? I don't know about that. But I'll tell you, I'll try to be the first one to get their hands on one and tear it down on stream for you folks, if anything. That'll be my next goal, is to try to be the first one in the world to do a tear down and live stream of one of those suckers. We did this. We were the first for the 2nd gen HomePod. Hell yeah. Alright. The part that every HomePod gets replaced on their amplifier board if we're taking them apart and if we have our tweezers. Here we go. Are our DC filters. These 4 capacitors right here. They love to go bad and cause death farts, stinky subwoofers, all sorts of bass issues. One of the most common reasons these HomePods get sent in to us, so it's worth replacing these when we've got the chance. To minimize the chance of well, them ever needing to send it back into us for anything, and if they do, for one of those reasons, to be a more expensive catastrophic repair caused by these filters going bad. Their signal strength was set to 40. Did you so you bumped it up and it made a noticeable improvement? Because you don't always have to have your Wi-Fi on full power blast 100%. But 40% does sound pretty low. That would really only work decent for, I would just take a hazard guess that any device within the same room would work fine, and anything not in the same room would pretty much immediately start to suffer. But that's just going to affect its range. We do have a 48K dated Schottky diode. Those like to fail and cause no power. So we'll get this replaced. Oh, not just a fan, but a successful software restore with one of our adapters. Awesome. Of course, don't just thank me. I'm just doing all the easy stuff. It was David and Tim Starr that did and do all the hard work. Thankfully, there isn't any hard work that's needed to be done. The past few software releases, they did such a great job with the scripts that it's easy enough for me to go and build a new version of the software every time Apple pushes a new version out. Easy peasy. All right. A smart LED cookie jar out of an old HomePod. Yeah, we could figure out how to hinge the top plastic open and close. That'd be easy. Wait, why does the cookie jar need LEDs? If I make it good enough, I could sell it on Etsy. Ah, jeez. I'm sure I could. I'm sure I could make just about anything and sell it on Etsy. I guess we could be selling our colored pods on there too, but how many people are going to be going on Etsy to look for something like that? Now, the HomePod cookie jar with Wi-Fi connectable RGB LEDs inside, that I can see as a huge untapped market. I mean, probably thousands of people a day going to Etsy and searching for it. HomePod cookie jar RGB. 0 results. Onset depression. What's the point of living without a HomePod RGB cookie jar? So I think we can do something about that. I think we can... I don't know. I think I'll let you take that opportunity, Stefan. And by the sounds of it, if you try that, if you try for that $80 parts pod with bass issues and it doesn't work out, then you've got the perfect spare shell to turn into a cookie jar yourself. And then you can steal the crown. Please take it. Is there something interesting to do with a speaker of a broken HomePod? It depends if the speaker's still good. I mean, these things are surprisingly responsive. With the right enclosure, they produce an excellent amount of bass. Obviously, I wouldn't go too big. I would probably go no bigger than like a 1 to 1.5 cubic feet. No bigger than that, without, willing to trial and error and seeing which sounds better. But a dedicated enclosure, if you're talking about just the speaker. The tweeters themselves, actually, as a matter of fact, I've taken the tweeters and the subwoofers from a couple of broken second gens that I've gotten my hands on. And put those in my car. And I use those as my car audio, or for my car stereo. I've got 4 first-gen HomePod subwoofers and 4 second-gen HomePod tweeters around the car right now. And I intend on doing, doubling up each of the tweeters. There's plenty of bass. Good Lord, there's plenty of bass. It's literally like having 4 HomePods in the car with you. It's glorious. But it needs a little more mid-range and high range. So I definitely need to double up on the tweeters at least if I've got 4 subwoofers in the car to go with them. But also, I need to sort out my 3D printing situation because right now I can only print in basically PLA and PETG because I only have 2 Ender 3s that aren't enclosed or anything, so I can't print any higher temp stuff. One of my Ender 3s is a V2 with a no, it's not the Bowden tubing, it's the direct drive, I think is what you call it. So instead of the filament going from an extruder through a tube into the printer or into the hot end, it goes through an extruder straight into the hot end. But it still can only, questionable how safe it is to print higher temperature materials without an enclosure, to say the least. PETG did not survive the sun. I printed speaker adapters to fit the subwoofers into my doors and rear panels, and it promptly fell apart and melted. So that's where I'm stuck. A capable 3D printer. I don't know. I don't know, Stefan. See, I could totally mess with you and play dumb and be like, watch your mouth. Inappropriate language. I don't know what it means, but don't say it. Alright. Get a nice good settling snap in there. We'll just make sure that nothing got goofed up. Yes, exit setup. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Oh, that killed the phone camera. That I expect, though. Let's go, phone cam. There we go. All right. Let's get 3981 taken care of the same way. Yeah, I know we're going slower than usual. I don't care anymore. I can't care anymore. You just do what you can do. So let's see here. It's gonna be 3981 with some maintenance. After 3981 here is going to be 4018, so we'll shoot them a quick message. Alright. Yeah, you're still waiting on that. Let me see. I thought I don't think I actually got an email from you. Because I remember you hopping in to our... Oh, no, we did. Let's see. Oh. Okay, I see what happened. I see what happened. Gmail did the dumb thing where every time you email me again, it bumps you to the end of the line. And I don't jump around my email list. I normally email in order that it presents to me. And it's usually oldest email to newest email, but if you send me multiple emails, then what it'll do is, even though you sent me an email 6 days ago, if you send me another email 3 days ago, then it'll pretend that you only emailed me 3 days ago, and I'll go through everyone else that's already been waiting through 6 days and not see your email from 6 days ago until I get to everyone else, including yours, in the 3-day mark, if that makes sense. Gmail's great that way. I wish there was a way to change it, but that's mostly my bad for just being slow on email responses. And then, let me see here. Yeah, okay. I found your mail. I have marked it here as important, so I'll remember to get to you here. Woo! All repairs, are they all anonymous today? They are. They are. At least all the HomePods. Show us some of your vines. I don't have easy access to all of my vines. Unless, did he bring it back? Why, damn, why? I mean, to be fair, I too would not want to get my business absolutely murdered by tariffs, and would be kissing up to the dictator in charge in order to hopefully get discussions and exemptions in place. But shh. Tim's just being a good boy. Yeah, I don't get why you could be... I could understand being mad at the situation, but I wouldn't understand directing that anger towards Tim, because I mean, to me, it just kind of seems like he's doing the best with the cards he's been dealt with here. And I'm not sure. And that's coming from me. That's coming from someone who loves to criticize the company and think of all sorts of conspiracies against them. But I don't know. No one knows except for him. And we're all everyone else, we're all just out here throwing our guesses around like monkeys throw poop around. Seeing what sticks. And let me tell you, it's all stinky. It all stinks. Absolutely, certain foods make it much stinkier. But it all stinks. I mean, love or hate either of the two men involved. I don't know what you expect Tim to really do. Sure, not do that, but I think the people also getting mad about it might be. Do you expect him to like do something like crazy? Are you expecting him to just give Trump the middle finger and say F you? What's the source of anger here? The next fix at the top is doubled yes. Someone finally noticed. That's intentional. That's just to give it a little effect. Just a little effect. Two of the same font. One point larger than the other. Put behind it, so that it kind of gives it almost a little 3D effect. That's just my little janky trick that I taught myself on how to make quick and fast 3D text effects with nothing more than 2D text. Just duplicate the layer, make the second layer slightly larger, put it underneath, offset it slightly. Bada bing, bada boom. And each time you do it, unless you plug in the numbers to adjust everything the same way every time. If you click and drag with your mouse to do it every time, you get a different result each time. Alright. We've got the DC filters replaced, yada yada, death farts, blown up bass speakers, stinky subwoofers. No one likes roasted subs. No one likes roasted nuts and no one likes toasted subs. That's why we wear protection and that's why we replace our filters. Has it really almost been a year now since the 16 was launched? Good grief. And still no flagship feature that the flagship model of the phone was sold to you for. Okay, you've got the fancy Force Touch sidebar thing. Neat. I'm still rocking my 14 Pro Max. How thick are the neon green gloves on AliExpress? What thickness are they? Stefan, yours is made of silicone? I mean, okay, first of all. Second of all. Oh, you're talking about the gloves. You're talking about the gloves. Okay. Oh, the side cam's having a... Let's see if we can't lock that focus down. It's probably just trying to focus on the cord right in front of it. Go easy on it. It's doing its best focusing on a moving object. It's trying its darn hardest. Just like we are. See, I thought you were talking about something else in your hand, not the gloves. That's my apologies. Just because of the order of the messages that you received and the delay in the stream and yeah. Yeah. Classic. What did you send a link to a photo of? Ooh. Very nice. Very good setup. Acoustically, could use a lot of improvement on speaker placement, but just like the HomePods, all that matters is that it sounds good to you. And also, if you ended up playing around with speaker placement and that particular arrangement really did just end up sounding the best laid out that way, then, well, there you go. I'm just a jackass. Alright, I've got a fun challenge for you folks. Give me 1 second. One split second. Okay, well, it took me longer than a second because I wasn't expecting to step on the sharp end of a hammer. Let me get this plugged in. I just realized we have been streaming this entire time on battery. We are streaming from my laptop. We have been streaming on my laptop this whole time on battery. My poor MacBook. It's probably screaming for help. Okay. We have saved the MacBook. Gosh, we had 50% battery still. I don't know why I was wigging out. Cool. Cool. I've got a trivia question for you folks. But the trivia question is currently charging. So you'll have to give it a few minutes and then I'll ask you the question. The trivia question is a sharp aqueous crystal. No, but that is honestly a really, really good guess. That is a really good guess considering you don't even know what the question is yet. Let me go see where it's at here. It should be relatively Where can you buy custom mesh? I don't sell just the mesh. Well, I mean, I could sell the mesh, just the mesh custom. I've never had anybody actually ask to buy just a custom mesh. Usually people just want to buy the plain Jane black or white mesh. Or if they want it colored, they usually send in the whole HomePod. But for that, I mean, with anything that you want to buy, you have to email us. I do everything manually by hand. There are no machines or computers or robots that handle any of our orders. It's all between you and me over email or text. But for something like that, especially, you can just shoot me an email and I'll get to you soon, very soon, as soon as I can. Alright, let's see if this works. Yes. Oh, which one is it? Oh, which one is it? Alright, well that's not working, that's actually not working the way. It's not working actually at all right now. Well, I was gonna ask you what operating system was what operating system was doing all of that, but it was not doing what I wanted to do. Oh, but none of you guys even know what that was? Uh-oh. Reserve power.
The best way to predict the future. Deranged, the best way to predict the future. Whisper, the best way to predict the future is to invent it. Good is the best way to predict the future is to invent it.
You're not a million years old, but do you remember this? ...2009 MacBook jump scare. Haunted house, but it's just full of 2009 MacBooks doing that. You know what my favorite part of the early 2000s MacBook ownership experience was? The intro video that played after you finished installing a fresh copy of Mac OS X. Snow Leopard. And then it goes like all crazy and it goes and you're sitting there breaking your neck to a fresh copy of Mac OS X Snow Leopard. Oh man, I love it. Alright. That's gonna be another happy HomePod. How many more HomePods can we make happy today? How many Coca-Colas can I drink in one stream? Some days I can't touch the stuff, and some days I gotta drink 3 or 4 cans in a 2-hour sitting. What is wrong with me? We have got here and now finally 4018 with no power. It's gonna be 3920 after this one. We'll let them know they're coming up next. Huh. Oh, where's my volume? Where's my volume? That's like that's what happens to me. That's what happens to me when I accidentally trigger one of the HomePods on the test bench, and they all start going off thinking. Because when you accidentally touch one of them, and it's like, "Hey, I'm blah blah blah," and it triggers all the other ones, and they just start going off on a loop, and they're all it confuses the hell out of a few dozen of them sitting close together, especially when they're all added to different homes. Fun, funny stuff. All right. Forgot to add the joov up there. We can't forget that. Here we go. No lights, no power. A couple of watts from the kilowatt meter. So it says. Another dead diode. They also wanted their mesh cleaned and or replaced. I think it'll be best for us to pull it off and wash it out in the sink. Do a proper scrubbing with some dish soap. Can you wash it while it's on the HomePod playing music? Goodness. You're welcome to try on yours. I'm not liable for anything that happens, though. Julian, what is up? What is up? Hey, you can't say that for sure, Shuffle Hands. It might still work afterwards. There are no certainties in life. Try and resell it as no power for $200. Hey, there you go. Make profit. Give us words of wisdom. I've been making you wiser this whole stream. You just gut the HomePod and fill it to the brim with water and then seal it back up. I've never played Fortnite either. I don't know what a mini from Fortnite is. Oh no. Alright. We're going to touch the board up a little bit first with some new filters. Y'all know it, the stuff that loves to go bad and cause death farts and stinky subwoofers. I'll leave you children to your discussions amongst yourselves. Why am I when oh. Oh. Aha. There it goes. Yo, listen up. Here's a story about a little guy that lived in a blue world. And all day and all night, and everyone he sees is just blue. Like him. Very nice. Now we will fix the shorted star of the show, the Schottky diode. That has failed for no good reason other than the manufacturer made a bad batch of these things. We'll get it replaced with a new one that won't fail again. You like my singing? Do you want more? Hat turned sideways, gold in your mouth. Looking like a fool with your pants on the ground. No, people don't like my singing. A few people left. I'll stop. I'll stop. I'll sing that to Stefan. To good song though. You know what's burned into my head though? That version, that song was introduced to me. I heard it for the first time when my friend showed it to me when it was released. There was, I think there was, am I not mistaken, there was someone on YouTube that went and made a music video out of it with Mario. And like that's, anytime anybody talks about that song, that video is what pops right into my head, right along with it. That was a long time ago. I don't even, that might have even actually been before YouTube, I'm not sure. I'm gonna play that song for my kid when wake her up on her 16th birthday to that with that song. Jeez, brutal. Is the first gen constructed the same as the second gen? Absolutely not. If you head over to my YouTube channel, look for my playlists. I have a teardown playlist, a specific playlist of just teardowns, so that way you don't have to scroll through the hundreds of our live streams. In the teardowns playlist on my channel, you will find a second gen HomePod teardown. Not to mention, there's plenty of other teardowns out there, but they are quite different inside and out. Not a single screw or speaker is the same. You can't swap anything around. Heck, the second gen is technically a millimeter shorter than the first gen. And if you try to ship a first gen inside of a second gen box, you'll notice the box doesn't want to close white all the way. Stop shipping your first gens in the second gen boxes. It's too small. Things break. There's nowhere to put the power cord. You're literally best off putting the thing by itself. And by itself, I mean not with its original box, but you're best off packing it just in a regular old box with enough packing material to keep it from bouncing or shaking around. Second to that, you're okay using the original first gen boxes to ship them. They are usually fine. But please, I beg you all, stop shipping first gens inside of second gens boxes. Are we currently repairing a Gen 1? Oh yeah. That's all that's in the queue today, minus the last device up there. And that's mostly what we fix on a day in and day out basis here. Maybe every month or so we get 1 or 2 second gens showing up, but they either aren't as popular and or are more reliable. So we just simply don't see as many of those in yet. Even compared to the first gens, we started fixing them only a year or 2 after they were released. And right off the bat, we were busy. But the second gens have never been anywhere near as busy as we've ever been with first gens. Pretty rare. Oh, we aren't going to worry about putting this one all the way back together, because as I said before we started taking this apart, we are going to be taking the mesh back off later to clean it off in the sink and get some of those stains off of there. Hopefully that will get some of the it's got some like superficial dents along the side of it too, so we'll see if we can't get that fixed. Along with our side camera, what the heck is going on here? There we go. We can at least see if our repair fixed it. There we go. It is booting right up. Who's next? 3920. Here we are.
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet. For more info, check the home app.
Uh-huh. I'm sure you are. You're far from home. Alright. Let's shoot some folks some more messages. Wow. While we let this boot up here. So this one is 3920. Up next, 4042. We'll let them know they're coming up soon. Ooh.
I'm having.
Ooh. Spooky. The redeem sound. I don't know what you're talking about. What are you talking about? I'm out of the loop here. Stefan, no. No. Bad. Bad. Stefan, go to bed. Go to bed. Thunderbolt display at a thrift store. Shuffle hands. You gotta plan a drive up here, my man. Plan a drive up here and like a day or two to like run around all the different thrift stores and e-waste centers up here. And bring a couple grand with you too. And let me know where you're staying with all of that cash. No. You go back to school on Wednesday. Well, yeah. I mean, not like tomorrow or this weekend. I mean, you're not even like an adult yet, right? So, I mean, if you wanted to hang out, then plan a trip to come out here. You can run around with me and the wife and the kid, and we'll show you where all the good stuff's at. But I mean, when you put it that way, it sounds freaking weird, yeah? Like, yeah, hey kid, wait till you turn 18 and then God, jeez. Imagine going to school. I know, right? I dropped out sophomore year. Hey, look at that. That entire spot cleaned right up. Immaculate. But if you ever wanna plan a drive up onto this side of the state by yourself and just hit a couple of the spots, you can let me know. I'll shoot you some of the places, some of our go-tos. Or if you want to write them down now, what you're looking for, of course you need to hit up RePC. There's 2 locations. There's one in Tukwila / South Center. There's one in Seattle. So they're like 15-30 minutes apart from each other, depending on traffic. And then the Goodwill that's right next to the RePC in Seattle can be pretty decent. They usually have a whole bunch of random everything. It's a pretty big Goodwill with a whole bunch of stuff. And then the Goodwill in Bellevue. Is it Bellevue, Kirklandish? There's a Goodwill around here. It can sometimes have some good stuff. Especially since you have so many tech employees around here from Valve and Apple and Microsoft and all the other tech companies around here, right? And then Value Village has lately been really stepping it up. They almost always have a pretty decently, like a larger selection of used video games than any of the Goodwills that I go to. But there's two Value Villages that I like to go to, the one in Redmond and the one in Issaquah. Those are two good ones. The one in Issaquah, I actually ran into one of our viewers. And actually, we ran into them before they started watching our channel. And more or less, we were fighting over a couple of laptops on the shelf, and we got to talking to each other. And they, they like what we do, so they subscribed and they hop into a stream here and there. But we met a fella there. Those are usually the spots that we go to. And then if we're feeling zesty, we will walk around Seattle. There is another Goodwill that's way more of a really small hole in the wall kind of a Goodwill than anything. And they usually don't have a lot of good stuff. It's usually really small time Goodwill. The same kind of, it'd probably be, I would imagine it would be very similar to the kind of Goodwills that you have around you, Shuffle Hands. And then the last one that I can think of before I forget it, the Jubilee Thrift Store in Redmond. They can sometimes have some really cool stuff. Just a total oddball selection of things. Especially the special stuff that they keep in the cases up front. But if you want lots of speakers, dude, you need to check out these places that I'm talking about. Because, I mean, if it's anything to compare to, like, thrifting in Spokane, it's, buddy, totally different. I need to go to the Remuseum in Boise. That, I need to talk to my wife and try to talk her into a quick, like, day or two trip down to say hi to the family and check that out. Because I'm curious how it stacks up to the stuff we've got over here. You've been out to Washington once. Have you ever been over to Seattle or just over to Spokane? Like, have you even been on this side of the state? It's quite different than it's like the state's basically split in half, two totally different places. Can we torture your mini? No. No, absolutely not. I don't want to be tortured. What about me? What about my feelings? Never mind yours. What about mine? Never mind the minis. I never thought in my life I would rather sit in silence, but I guess I am kind of just talking to myself here. It's not too silent. What if, I'm not saying this will happen, but I'm just asking as a hypothetical, what if I let you share play under the condition that whatever you're share playing to my HomePod mini, you also have to share play to your HomePod mini? At, of course, the same volume, because we all know that SharePlay forces everybody to listen to the one and same volume that anybody picks. And no cheating either. You got a $5 Apple TV too? Ooh. Good deal. How would that work? Well, when you join my SharePlay, can't you choose what your audio is outputting to, you know? Alright, I see no other casualties, damage, or areas of concern. The subwoofer doesn't even stink. It survived the thrashing from filters gone bad. So this can go back together, and we can move on to the last few pods before this joov portable red light therapy device. The side cam is not having a stroke. It's just trying its hardest, focusing on everything moving in front of it. I guess I should switch back to the application-based camera stream from it that lets me lock the focus on. Unless video mode lets me lock on. It tends to not stay locked on. I saw both of those, and well, thank you for deleting them. Jeez. That's all I'll say is jeez. Jeez, cheddar cheese. No, I didn't. Yes, I did. All I'll say is what's the difference between a 2-stroke and a 4-stroke? I'm just kidding. No. Yeah, I'm with shuffle hands. No. You have an OG pod that needs to be reimaged as it's stuck configuring. Can you send it in, or should you just get a cable? So there's a large chance that the reason why your HomePod is stuck configuring or updating is related to an issue with your current home/HomeKit or a device or hub added to your home. I'd say it's like a 50-50 chance. Leaning more towards it being more likely that it's just old software if the HomePod is running an older version of the software, especially like OS 13 or 12 or older. But if it's running a newer OS like 15 or 16 or 17 or 18 and it's stuck configuring and not updating, it's usually an issue somewhere in your home. And yeah, you can force a restore to the latest version with the adapter still, but it might not solve your issue with it being stuck configuring still once you try to add it to your home again. And there's no great way to tell without spending a bunch of time troubleshooting first with your setup, like creating a new Apple ID on a spare phone or iPad that's running the latest OS. Create a new home with that new account and try to set the HomePod up on there. It shouldn't take more than a few minutes for it to set up and configure on that new setup with nothing else added to it. And if it succeeds, then you know you've got something poisoning your HomeKit setup, making things hang. And that would also explain any other issues potentially that you might be experiencing with your HomeKit set or your smart home setup in general. Show your bald head. I'm not bald. I've got a full head of hair. Am I gaslighting you? Absolutely not. I have a full head of hair and I'm not showing it. I have a full head of hair and I'm afraid to show it. And you can't make me. Surprise! If you weren't paying attention, you wouldn't have noticed that I said 4042 has 2 HomePods here to fix. They've got one with no power, one with suspected bad DC filters, maybe just normal popping going into sleep or idle mode. But in any case, they're opting for the hardware maintenance on the second one. Let's go ahead and...
I'm having trouble connecting to...
Beautiful. Let's go ahead and... That's a lot better. Yes. Let's get these fixed here. I want to fix my joov. My joov. So we're going to pick on the one with no power first here. No power, no lights, no nothing here. Yeah, for sure. We've got the usual power draw at the wall telling us it's a dead diode on the amplifier. Let's dig in. Says it's on 18.6 now. Oh, interesting. So, yeah, you'll definitely want to try the new home setup thing new home, new Apple ID, spare phone. If you can do all of that, that's the best, like, one-shot troubleshooting step to most quickly and easily determine if it's an issue with your home or your Apple account, or if it's an issue with the HomePod itself. But it being on 18.6, like I was saying, that really does, I would lean a lot more towards it'll probably set up fine on the test account and your test home. And you'll need to sort out what's poisoning your HomeKit. It might end up being a matter of deleting your entire current home and making the whole thing all over again. I've had to do that multiple times throughout my HomeKit endeavors over the years. Especially when I'm adding and removing home hubs or devices that can act as a home hub. Thankfully, Apple finally gives you an option to choose which device you want to prefer to act as the home hub. But unfortunately, it seems like that doesn't really seem to have helped your situation. Did I meet anyone cool at Open Sauce? I did. I not only got to meet, but I got Styropyro to sign my badge. And we talked for a few minutes. He was talking about his storm chasing and how he has a problem with continuous recording on his current Insta 360. And the Insta guy at the booth was like, yeah, you could record it, like you could feed the video out to something else. And I was like, yeah, just stick a computer in your car that records directly to it with like OBS. And that way you're not counting on the camera's recorded footage, and you've got redundancy in case something happens to the camera, and you can simplify your workflow. If the recording's all going to a computer in the car that happens to be a powerful enough laptop or portable computer that you can just yank out of the car and bring inside, you could even maybe edit directly off of it or use it as the storage medium to edit the video off of. It all works out. And then Big Brain Nick was like, yeah, well, I blah blah blah, day jobs, boring day job to him, you know, nothing of relevance. Totally neglected to mention the fact that I'm the great Nix fix that saved thousands of HomePods on YouTube. Nope. Like I said before, I'm a boss, absolute boss at networking. Alright, what's on the menu? The usual stuff, unless there's anything else that stinks here, but funny thing is, what we're going to be replacing on this one for no power, and a bit of maintenance, is going to be the exact same stuff that we do to their other one. That's one of the ways that we keep ourselves from losing our minds here, is and partly we've gotten lucky with it too, is just that we've got more or less one workflow, one repair, the same set of parts that we replace every time in every HomePod. That not only usually fixes the issue that it's sent in for, but prevents the other issues that the other ones are sent in for. Killing 3 birds with 1 stone. We're starting with the DC filters that love to go bad and cause death farts and stinky subwoofers and more expensive complications with the amplifier down the road. Even if they're good now, even if we tested them and they tested okay, we've seen ones that test okay only last a few months longer before needing to come back to us to get replaced anyways. So it got to the point where we just decided it was best to replace them every time. Every time we've already got our hands on it, might as well give it new filters. And here is the diode that failed and is causing no power. Only a certain date range of these diodes go bad and cause this issue, so we'll see if the other one has the same date range inside. Stefan, are you by chance, is your live stream, falling behind? Because I know whenever I watch live streams on YouTube with my TV, it always falls behind. And if I go look at the timeline, after 5 or 10 minutes of watching a live stream, it'll be up to a few seconds, maybe sometimes I've seen even 30 seconds to a minute of it being behind. And it's cool because it feels like jumping forward into the future, but realistically my client isn't synced up quite right with the playback, so it the bug goes backwards, or the bug goes slower than faster. But that would make sense. That would be the only way it would let you do 2x, I would think, because you can just go back any amount in time in the current stream and then do like 2 or 3x playback speed to catch up as fast as possible to live. My boss at my day job likes to watch and listen to everything at accelerated speed. And he was like, yeah, the great thing about AI is now I don't have to watch or listen to anything or anyone anymore. I can just plug it all into AI and have it give me bullet point summaries. AI is an excellent tool. It's an excellent tool. It's not a crutch. You shouldn't be using it to think for yourself. And you sure as hell shouldn't be using it to summarize something without at least sanity checking. Because boy does it get stuff wrong. Even when you go ahead, ask it to generate an image with details. It still can't get this stuff right. I had it try generating an image of the intake layout of one of my cars, and it couldn't even. Oh, it was such a mess. It was mislabeling things. It couldn't spell anything right. The images and the icons that it generated to represent different parts of the car were just. It was wild. Wild and absolutely unhelpful whatsoever. What a waste of resources for absolutely no benefit. In that particular example. I'm not saying every time, everywhere, every how. But for that one I felt bad. I was like, okay, I kind of expected it to suck. Why did I even bother asking? Yep. So I haven't been drinking I haven't touched water in the past 2 weeks. Since asking that question. I've been trying to give back what I've taken. Oh, am I thirsty. That's gonna waste of water. That's gonna be an insult to clankers in the future. Like, instead of yelling at someone, calling them a waste of skin, you're yelling at some clanker, telling them that their brain that uses water to evaporatively cool itself, that it's a waste of water. That's great. If you did that, you'd have to stop drinking water altogether. Well, if you get the latest iPhone with Apple Intelligence, then most of the AI is going to be done on your phone directly. So, no water lost. You're good to go. Until you ask it a question that it has to use ChatGPT to figure out. I don't have a problem with the tools and the access to the tools, but between it's been studied and shown that it's making people dumber. You use it too much, you use it to think for yourself, and you literally get dumber. That's crazy. But what I like to use it for is like if I've already Googled and tried searching and looking for other people's similar experiences, or talked to others, or posted in forums, or I just, can't find what I'm looking for. It's a viable option to poke with, to brainstorm with, maybe get a few ideas. Don't fully don't fully trust it. Like, I was trying to figure out an issue with my car, and it was basically suggesting that I lean out the fueling to such a degree that if I actually tried what it was suggesting, I would have blown the car up. Kaboom! Ya da 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 da, ya da 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 da. No, we're not gonna get killed by AI. Stefan, you're gonna get killed by AI for smashing all of those iPhones. See, I treat the toasters with love, peace, and compassion. You smash the toasters and treat them with disrespect and abuse. The toasters will be coming after you, not me. Horse? What about a horse? Shuffle hands, what do you want about? Why am I not surprised that GPT told you to do that? You were probably abusing it. You were probably treating it like you treat half the other technology in your room. And, to be honest, I would be lying if I said I treated ChatGPT with the utmost respect, especially when I don't get the answers I want after trying 10 times. And just wasting time and resources going in circles, getting nowhere. I didn't call it a clanker. Someone else called it a clanker. And then Stefan called it a waste of water. And I made a joke about it all. GPT gets the Stefan sister treatment, yeah. Hey, there we go. 1 out of 2. Can we get the other?
I'm having trouble connecting to the...
Very nice. All right. One more HomePod, and then we're moving on to that joov Go portable red light therapy device. Let's get this booted up and do a quick sanity check. This one should just need maintenance. Did I just... No, I didn't make any... Oh, is that the... That's my wrist rubbing on the desk, I think. You'll know when I do that. You'll know. I'll make it known. I am not shy.
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet. For more info, check the Home app.
Yeah, you talking about this? Alright. Yeah, no, I do hear a little bit of popping. Definitely not the worst, and definitely not something that I would rush to crack open and fix, but nonetheless, all the filters will inevitably go bad. If not also that Schottky diode that caused no power in his other HomePod. They may have the same one in here, so let's get it open and get it taken care of. Do you want the flippy Samsung or the foldy Samsung? I'm kind of torn between the two because, like, on one hand, I obviously want the bigger. But on the other hand, the flip is just so small and cute and cool and just, oh man, just look at it. But if I was going to do that, I'd almost rather get the Razer one. But I guess that one kind of sucks. So you might as well just get the Samsung one. But Samsung kind of sucks too. They all suck. Ah! Maybe I'm the problem. Okay, let me type in the tracking number for you. Give me a minute. I love when people ask me to track their stuff for them. I mean, I get it, but at the same time, like, can you please do it? Can you check before you ask me where it is? I mean, if it says it's here, then sure. But it won't even let me copy and paste it. Okay, hold on. Track shipment. Yep, the tracking number said it'll be here tomorrow. So, you know, that is why there is a frequently asked question on my website. Did you get my HomePod yet? I don't know. Did you check the tracking number? Snarky snark. I'm in a snarky mood now. That fixed it. That fixed it. You mean you added it to a test account and it worked, so you've already reset it and tried adding it to your main account again, and it's set up and working fine there too? Or have you only gotten as far as it working on the test setup? Estimated date said today. Well, yeah, I know the estimated delivery date said today, but the tracking number and the data currently says it's due for delivery tomorrow. So regardless of what the piece of paper that was printed when you shipped it a week ago says the estimated delivery day was, the actual delivery day may be different the closer that day gets. So it behooves you to check the tracking number before you ask me if I got it yet. Although at the same time, I wonder if their logic, help me out here, folks. Help me out here. Is the logic here that their receipt for shipping it into us says that it was estimated to be delivered today? And so they did check the tracking and see that it wasn't delivered yet today. So they asked us if we have it anyways, thinking maybe the tracking isn't up to date or accurate. Maybe we'll give them the benefit of the doubt there. I can do that. That makes me feel better. People are stupid sometimes. Yeah, I know. I try to give people the benefit of the doubt. Because I appreciate it all the same when people give it to me, right? You would want the same. Moved it to a test home, configured quickly, moved it back to your original home, came up perfectly. Beautiful. And duly noted. Thank you for checking in with us and letting me know. I may even craft some sort of basic DIY troubleshooting guide for your HomePod and HomeKit issues before you bother sending it in to us or reaching out to us for help. Try these things first. If these things don't fix your issue, then reach out to us and we'll see what we may be able to do. I've been meaning to do something like that for a while. You're still tired from yesterday's tired? Dude, it takes me like sometimes at least a week for me to catch up on like not feeling tired if I mess up sleep for one day. It's awful. I want somebody to post, I want someone to share the image that Shuffle Hands posted in the chat to your favorite artificial intelligence and ask it to describe the image. And then I want you to paste its description in the chat for me. And then I want to see if I can imagine what it is that Shuffle Hands posted a picture of before I click the link. Ooh. It is quite dusty around those filters. And the main amp chip. Okay. Back at it. The image shows several large faceted gem-like crystals in different colors. Yellow, purple, clear, blue, and green. Arranged on a dark surface. Over the image, there's a Snapchat-style caption. The text says, "I found them," suggesting the person is claiming to have discovered the kit. Oh. Okay. I think I've got a mental image. Okay. Woo! Alright, we're safe. We're safe. We're training their models. We're helping them get better. That's my excuse for a command or a question that I've asked an AI and it didn't give me the result that I wanted. I'm not wasting resources. I'm training it and improving it. In 20 plus years, we're gonna look back at cursing at and swearing out our AI chatbots like beating our kids. It's gonna be like a big no-no that's like absolutely counterproductive to trying to get what you want, the result that you really want. And it's gonna be like frowned upon. Wouldn't that be whack? Crazy. I'm calling it. Clip that. We have a 1742K dated diode on here, so we need not be concerned or worried about that. We need not add any risk or complication to the repair. Let's get it back together. And let's get on with the joov Go portable red light therapy device. You tell ChatGPT thank you. Don't do that. Do you know how much energy is wasted on people saying thank you to the thing? And it's like just absolutely unnecessary. It's like saying thank you to the Chuck E. Cheese robots. But it costs you like 20 of your Chuck E. Cheese tokens to say thank you. But you want to make the fuzzy robots' feelings feel better. Who am I to talk? I used to like to leave my computers on because I didn't want the capacitors to wear out sooner from them being turned on and off all the time. Lord. Stop freaking out, Nick. Just fix it. Does it look like you give... No, it doesn't look like you care today. One bottle of water per prompt. No, it was something like is a certain length of characters or a certain number of tokens or some thing like, I don't know, man. Ooh, the other day, mine called me out. It called me out and it got me good. I was asking it a bunch of questions about trying to figure out a certain problem with my car, and it said, it gave me a bunch of things to try, and I think I got a little upset because it was just basically asking me to try a whole bunch of things that were completely unrelated, and that I know for a fact don't have any relation to the problem, or that I've already told it were tested and verified good and provided logs to prove that. And it said something like, or no, I asked it, why are you having me try all these things over and over again instead of something else? And it was like, because it seems like you're just trying to guess what the problem is instead of systematically diagnosing everything and figuring out what the problem is based on data input. And it kind of, it made a valid point. But on the flip side, none of the data that I've been able to log has been able to help me pinpoint what the heck is going on. So, touche bot, but didn't get us any further in the end. But that's just kind of like one of my styles. If I'm not sure where to start, and especially if I don't have any information on where to start, sometimes I'll just do a shotgun approach, just take guesses, tweak some things, see how things respond. Go from there. Whoa. Are we gonna clear this cube before my wife gets home? And we'll have a queue cleared, and we'll be all caught up on everything that showed up today too? I mean, there are still 2 more HomePods, but they currently have issues that we have not yet been able to reproduce. So I'm just kind of trying to buy as much time as we can with them, trying to reproduce any issues before we give up and crack them open and replace the usual suspects and send them back on their way. I don't like to, but when we simply cannot reproduce any issues, the best we can do is basically replace everything so that we can keep the parts that we suspect are causing the problems for further testing over a longer period of time, send them back on their way with parts that we know aren't the cause of the problem. Good enough to put a warranty on it and be able to go to sleep at night. Alright. Shouldn't be any obvious differences here. Perhaps unless those filters were just on the cusp of going bad and impacting their bass performance a little bit too. Would you look at that? It's a joov Go portable red light therapy device.
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet. For more info, check the Home app associated with this HomePod.
Oh yeah? Alright. Yeah, I do notice an improvement. We'll know for sure there aren't any problems when we leave it for testing. But let's get this. A new battery. I'm not sure if this fellow wanted to be anonymous for their repair or not, so we're going to keep it that way just to play it safe. If they don't want to be anonymous, they're welcome to let themselves be known in the chat there if they're watching along. And of course, you know it, it needs a new battery. So, the symptoms for these that need new batteries, it's pretty simple. They generally just run for a lot less time than they did when they were new. You're not crazy. The battery is dying. It is getting worse. I think it was, gosh, at least 2 or 3 years ago when we got our first one of these in. And it is pretty nice to have stuff like this show up where it is a fairly simple repair for us. See, look at this. If you go to, I think it was, no, we didn't stream yesterday. We streamed on Saturday. Anyways, if you go to our last repair stream where we fixed one of these, I was questioning the lack of battery tray. I think it was the first one that I've had in without an actual battery tray, and here we have what I expected to see in there, that battery tray for the battery. With some of that double-sided foam tape underneath it. No problem. There we go. And we'll grab, where did I put that new battery? Oh no. Ah, yes. Here it is. So, here's what and all that needs to be done. We don't want to just solder the whole battery replacement in. We need to disconnect the battery from the management board and swap it from the whole board. That way, because the boards that typically come with these are pretty weak sauce and they can't sustain the current draw that all of these LEDs tend to demand. So let's get this up here. Easy. So they did just solder these batteries to the boards, so that's nice and easy. We can just pop this off of there. It does have a little puff to it. Alright, you joker. Let me in. Stefan in Shuffle Hands said, what's that? A Joov Go portable red light therapy device? I am out of here. So what's interesting is they soldered the battery for the Joov, but the replacement battery with the cheaper management board is proper with the spot welds there. But for what all this is doing, either way is just fine. Alright, so we've got the, I believe, positive and negative like this. Yeah. Alright, cool. Turns right on. So let's get this soldered on. Excuse you, Stefan? Who replaced your cornflakes with pine cones this morning? You didn't eat anything today? Oh man. You gotta fix that. You asking me all the time, have I eaten anything? You gotta take care of yourself. Alright, an easy swap. We'll get that taped up. Beautiful. And since it's got the battery tray, we don't have to do all of that all of that double-sided tape. And there we go. That is it for this repair stream. Folks, I hope you all enjoyed. And I hope to catch you in the next one. Goodbye.